I'm just the elephant in the room. What's your best excuse? I'm just the elephant in the room. Do you really wanna...
Well, hello there. Welcome back to Elephant in the Room. My name is David James. We're going to talk today about a couple things, and we're going to talk or summarize our interview that we had with Councilman Jeff Merritt, which I think was a really successful one. But before we skip ahead to that, I want to talk about an article that was, at least I saw it on Facebook, and it was from a local news network. And they put out a story 3 days ago that now has sprung up some debate. And I want to go ahead and actually quote that. And what it said is, the governor's office says that Salisbury Market project will include the development of a ground floor marketplace as well as residential apartments in Salisbury historic downtown district. And it had a picture. So it was saying that the governor's office already had plans for the city of Salisbury. Well, as soon as that article went out, there were many that rushed to the comments, and we actually captured some. And I'm going to go ahead back over some of those comments, including one from the mayor. One comment said says the governor, guess Jake Day had something to do with this, talking about the former mayor who now works for the governor. The next one says, shouldn't build more housing until our infrastructure is fixed. Schools are overcrowded and can't get teachers to teach here. We already stretched the police, fire, and EMS to the max. Let's put this money towards those things first and then talk about building more housing. Now, these are our people who live here, okay? Good point there. Then another one said, why doesn't the governor help the homeless? Where is the money coming from? Well, he could have just stopped with that first part. Good point. There's definitely always those out there without that can be helped first. So why doesn't the governor help the homeless? And then the next question is, where's the money coming from? Well, I can tell you where the money's going to come from. I don't even have to say it. I think you already know. But the one that I thought was pretty unique was the response of the mayor, who said, for your information, there is no truth to this article. I've reached out to WBOC to clarify their source, and it appears to be coming from an MD planning report. That said, I will say no more than other than to say it is simply not true. So here it is, this reporting is being done, and it's being done from a planning committee from the state part of things, and it should not be making decisions for local government. And kudos to having a mayor that will stand up for his constituents. That news network then responded, Randy Taylor, you can find that link to the press right here. And they kind of verified that it wasn't them, it was someone else. So wasn't any much conflict there. But then as Virginia Gap went on and posted, Mayor Taylor then commented again, allow me to place a finer point on my comment. The article implied that the governor's office was going to simply expedite various projects throughout the state and including the project in Salisbury. The tone was that Annapolis was going to act on behalf of local authorities to issue approvals, following their spin, removing obstacles to use their vernacular. In reality, a committee has been assembled to draft a pilot via the OAG to change the law, offering expanded powers to override local zoning. The anatomy of the approach is more than disturbing, which I will not comment on in this writing. I will say these notions will face deeply established planning authority policies. I would merely point out the disconnect. Stay tuned. Again, kudos to our mayor, who now is going to probably have to go and spearhead some things that's happening across the water. They cannot force things, or at least not as we know, force things on our city. And like I said, it's good to have an elected leader who's ready to stand up. So thank you again, Mayor Taylor. So this week to come, we're going to have a couple of guests, or into actually 3 guests in studio. One being not really a guest; she's actually my better 3/4, and I guess you can go ahead and say she's the co-founder, Keisha James, and as she's going to be planning to get a Praise in the Park going on in September, and that will be for the homeless. We have that over at the city park, and the mayor, once again, Mayor Taylor stands up and helps us out in getting the park and reserving that. So she's going to be on the show to talk more about that and how we can actually use your help. Kudos to Eastern Shore Undercover, who also has been advertising for this. So thank you, Earl and Spring over there at Eastern Shore Undercover. We also have Pastor Craig Mitchell on. Pastor Mitchell, who is a school teacher, is a great man of God, actually. He started doing a prayer vigil when there were some tragedies that had happened, actually a couple tragedies back to back. And that's where I met him at. Actually, did a prayer vigil downtown at Unity Square, and since then it's been a little bit of a fight to get back out there. Again, I'm not faulting anybody, but we've been working with the mayor's office to try to get that taken care of. But we're going to have Pastor Mitchell on to talk more about the prayer vigil and the need for that in our community. We also will have one of our, return hosts, if you will, Jermichael Mitchell. I like to call him Mr. Community. He's going to be in studio talking about what's going on in the community. And I don't know if you got a chance to watch some of the things he had going on Friday night, where they had it lit out there at the YMCA outside. It looked like Rutgers Park. And I was at another event, and I was looking on my phone at that, and it looked like a lot of other people were watching at the same time. So we're going to have Jermichael on to talk more about what's going on in the community and how he feels that community needs to step up a little bit more. Again, those are going to be those guests that we're going to have on this next week's Let's Talk. Okay, so we're about to go ahead and do a video summary of the interview we had with the Councilman Jeff Merritt. A couple of things I do want to point out is I want you to actually observe how many times he talks about communication. Okay, communication. And I actually made a comment about it. Without communication, nothing's going to happen that needs to happen for our county to go forward. But just notice how many times he mentions communication. He also mentioned to me that there's been a communication breakdown between the council and the executive's office, and there's no surprise there. But however, there's too much pointing the fingers, and I'm praying that both sides can work this out. But anyway, we're going to go to that video package and just listen to what he has to say. Hello, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. My name is David James, and I'm here with Councilman Jeff Merritt. Jeff, thank you for coming on.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
So, throughout my life, I've been involved in efforts too numerous to count. Businesses, organizations, just helping people work through problems, nonprofit arena, for-profit arena, personal arena. I don't think there's any problem out there that can't be solved, and it's usually best solved by simply a discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after being a councilman for about 2.5 years now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What have you learned about local politics?
Wow. That's a loaded question. I've learned, I've seen a lot of disrespect, which is very unfortunate. I've been disappointed a lot in a lot of people. People that I'd had a little more respect for previous to this. But, at the end, it's all about serving the public. And you have to look at it like that. You can't take things personally. You have to do what you think is best for the most number of people. No decision is going to be right for everybody, and there's always going to be naysayers, and you just hope those naysayers are, the fewest number possible. But Yeah, it's been it's not that I've not been involved in politics previous to this, it's just been from a different perspective.
Right.
I've spent many years going back and forth to Annapolis testifying on different bills, on different things, mostly to do with business or Second Amendment stuff. But I'm just seeing things from a different perspective now, different viewpoint.
Got you. Have you done any going to Annapolis since you've been councilman?
Yes.
All right. Tell us about a couple of those trips.
Mostly business stuff. There was the business-to-business tax that was proposed in this fiscal year, and we were able to. That was a big day. That was a 12-hour day up there, and which is not uncommon in Annapolis. You talk to anybody that goes to Annapolis, you better buckle up because it's a day. But there was a lot of people. There were so many people to testify on the business-to-business bill that they cut our testimony back to 90 seconds. So if you can imagine going to Annapolis and spending 12 hours only to spend 90 seconds speaking, that's not a lot of return on your investment.
That's less than at the council.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
But we were successful in getting that. That wasn't approved, but they came back 2 weeks later with the 3.5% tech tax that we were not successful in beating down. So you don't win them all. It's like everything else. You don't win them all, but I believe you're never going to win if you don't fight.
Ooh,
so
that's good saying. Good saying.
In the world of business, we have a saying that you will never get 100% of the quotes that you don't send out.
Okay.
So it's the same thing up in Annapolis. If you're not engaged in the fight, I call it, then you won't win.
So there comes times where our elected officials do need to go fight for us outside of Wicomico.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I encourage anybody and everybody, whether you're elected official or not, to take time to understand what's going on during the legislative session up in Annapolis for 3 months, and go up there and register to testify.
They were taxing everything this year.
Yeah, they were.
Wow.
They were, and some we were successful in not approved, but some we didn't win. So.
Okay. Do you see being in politics helpful? I mean, now that you are actually elected, do you see you being able to make an impact more as an elected official or in the private sector, if you will?
It's nice being part of the final decision process because it gives you a sense of, I don't know what the word is. It makes you feel like you've accomplished something, or not. We've had a lot of what I call controversial issues the past 2.5 years, whether it's appointments for positions or a biorefinery or whatever. And it's nice to be able to get in the fight, write the letters, have the meetings, make the phone calls, send the emails about these things that are going on. And it's nice to be able to have that communication. Not that you can't do that if you're not an elected official.
Sure.
You can always do that. I encourage people, send your emails, pick up the phone, call your elected officials. I talk to people every day in this county, all over the county, not just in my district. And they want to talk to somebody. They want to have somebody listen to them.
Interesting. So it's kind of unique that I actually found out, just trying to hear more recently, that the way that they came up with the new minority district is minority is just black and white. There is no middle ground there. It's going to be interesting in 2030. I think the census comes around. Are we going to be changing it again? Or
it appears that, the census is coming in 2030. It's every 10 years. And I would suspect that in 2030, they might be redistricting again. So this current redistricting might only be in force for 4 years. So we don't know.
Wow.
What they want to do is have each district within 5% of population of each other, so you don't have, like right now, all the districts have roughly 16,000 people. So you don't want to have one district with, 21,000 and one district with 8,000.
That's a good
So,
point.
because, they want everybody pretty much close to each other.
I really would love to just like sit down with whoever does these districting and find out how are they coming about it. And again, I kind of understand that why they have some of these minority districts, but minority nowadays to me, it's a little more broader than just black and white.
There's a
but,
science to it. There definitely is a science to it.
Interesting. So with all the extra stuff, like you said, has went on the last 2.5 years, has there been much that's gotten done? I mean, I know you had some things that y'all handed out and...
The runway is the runway extension at the airport. That's happening.
Okay.
The big expansion renovation at the Civic Center, that's going on.
Yeah,
We're
I can
moving
tell
the
it's on the
library,
road.
moving the health department. We bought a building for the Child Advocacy Center.
Sure.
That division's expanding, part of the state's attorney's office.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff happening.
Great.
The library's really, a lot of excitement going on about the library now, and of course the health department when that process happens and they start to renovate over there to the facility on Mount Herman Road. That's going to be exciting.
It's going to be unique.
Yeah.
Wow, it's going to be a lot of real estate that's going to be open downtown.
Yep, I believe so.
Okay. Awesome. Now,
What do they say? The only thing constant is change, right?
that is true. That is very true. Hopefully good change.
Yeah, we hope.
You know?
We like good change, yeah.
Now, looking back at your campaign promises of 2022, have you succeeded in achieving them?
All but one.
Okay.
But it's something I've observed over the years. The county council and the executive's office have never really gotten along the way I think they should.
Really?
And I know that's a news flash, right? You can pick a reason. And most of those reasons are probably correct, but I think we need to remember we have a county to run. I personally don't like drama. I do a lot of scrolling on social media.
You don't like drama, but you scroll on social media.
No, I scroll. Like I see
Real fast.
I see something on social media and it looks like it might be getting into the area of drama. And I
Okay.
just keep going.
Keep going.
Keep it moving. Yeah, and I encourage everybody to do the same.
Sure.
Your mental health will be better for it.
So you would like to see that improve some?
Yeah. I would like to see the relationship between the executive and the council improved so that there's constant communication. And I think the citizens will benefit for it because if some of these issues could get worked out without all the lawyers and the drama and the lack of communication that we're currently seeing, that would be good.
Again, I'll say this again, I actually said it to the executive, I really would like to see 4 years of getting her done. Just 4 years. I do believe we have the potential in this county to do some great things. And we could actually become that new beacon of light for Maryland, but we need 4 years of getting her done. And that's going to definitely take communication and putting self aside, so.
Yeah, we do have a lot of good things happening in the county, though.
Absolutely.
It's not all the drama and controversy. That stuff just rises to the top because it catches people's attention. But if you get right down to it, there's a lot of good things happening. We got the property tax credit for the firefighters. That's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's been a long time coming, and that includes the ladies auxiliary. So
yeah, they're very unappreciated. I mean, they do a lot.
Well, and that was the question when we went through that process. Are the ladies auxiliary included? And of course, in our mind, it was yes, but we had to officially find out that the ladies auxiliary fall under the same point system as the fire companies do. And so if they get their 50 LoSAP points a year, just like a firefighter does, they get the tax credit, as they should.
Okay. How confident are you that we will be able to remedy the problem at the landfill within a year?
I think we will. Adam Corey is, I think Adam's the right guy in the right position. 20 years of experience with MDE. You don't, you can have all the certificates and diplomas hanging on the wall, but nothing replaces experience. So that I think his knowledge in the industry is invaluable. And I think he's got the ideas to the solutions that are what I call actionable.
Sure.
They're not dreams, they can actually happen.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean by actionable. It's unfortunate that we seem to be coming out of the gate a little late. In September of 2022, we were, the documentation that we've seen shows that we were clear for design and engineering for Cell 7. That was September of 22, just a couple months before the election. So the question now is, why are we halfway through 2025 and we haven't started Cell 7?
Sure. Now,
So-
from what I understand, there were some cells that have been created during your time in office.
Yes. So I guess since the start of our administration,
Like 8 and 10, maybe?
8 and 10, 8, 9, or no, 9 and 10 were constructed, filled up, and covered. 8 is where we're at now.
Okay.
And then 7's right next to it.
Okay.
So the problem is, what we've been told in the past is not what we're being told now, so there's a little confusion on the messaging. In August of last year, Solid Waste came before the council and said that we had 4 to 6 years left. Well, here we are a year later, and we're being told we have a year left. So the math isn't adding up.
That was Adam and...
Adam was not on board last year.
Okay, so it's been some changes since then.
And
I got you.
the other problem is with Public Works, we've had 5 different people, quote, leading Public Works since the start of the administration.
Okay.
So that naturally that brings on some confusion, who's doing what, who's in charge, what's going on, there's those questions.
Sure.
With Cell 8, which is the cell we're on now we're being told we have about a year left. Whereas a year ago, we were told something different. In January of 2025, January of this year, we received what's called the 10-year comprehensive report.
Right,
And in there, it specifically states that the Newland Park landfill is adequate for the needs of Wycomico County for the foreseeable future. That's a quote right out of the report that we were given. So, we've gone from that, we've gone from 4 to 6 years, good for the foreseeable future, to July, we have a crisis. How did we get from good to crisis in 6 months?
But here's my
So-
thought, though. Within this last 6 months, we've had a change in administration on the federal level, and there's been a lot more construction. There's been a lot more work going on.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't have the degrees that Adam has, but would this have something to do with the amount of trash increasing?
It could be.
It's a lot.
It's funny, one of the questions that we've been asked is, there's been a effort over the past almost 2 years now, year and a half, to pick up roadside litter. Well, I can tell you that every time we go out and do one of those, we pick up 600 to 1,000 pounds every time we go out.
Yeah.
Well, if you do that, I was asked, do you think that's contributing to the landfill? And I don't think so, David, because that's really, it's a lot. You see all these bags piled up, but 600 to 1,000 pounds a couple times a month, I don't think that's contributing to the litter, the trash in the landfill.
Well, and I can tell you, and you know this about with me, I'm being from District 2 area. Back in the past, you would see a lot of old couches and stuff on Royal Oak Road and on East Road and all these roads. And here lately, I mean, we got great people down there like Rachel Anderson and I think, what is it, Wycomico Clean and all of them. And actually, I think even your group.
Yes.
You're on the side of the roads and you're cleaning up a lot more. But I can tell you by going down there, because I spent a lot of time down there still, I don't see as much on the side of the roads.
Yeah.
So it seems like either somebody's being more disciplined or they found a new place to dump.
I think what's happened over the past couple of years, and we knew this, when Bruce Robson and Mark Engberg, I would meet with them sometimes weekly over different things, and I said that the hardest hurdle that we're going to have to get across is the public awareness. And we asked the executive to put the Wycomico Clean logo and a little slogan like "Stop Littering" on all of the county's electronic signs all over the county. There's one at the Civic Center. There's electronic signs in front of the health department, just to try and get that messaging out. So I think it's taken a while, and we're not done yet, but I think the public awareness is up. I think people are a little bit more conscious now about litter.
Now, as far as with the landfill, I'm also hearing that there's actual places that they started digging that they found trash that's been covered.
Yes.
So where's the records from back in the day?
Well, recently we celebrated the 50 years of service of Mr.
Corbin.
Ronald Corbin.
Great young man.
Mr. Ronnie, he's called. And, I was talking with him about the changes that he's seen in 50 years.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And I said, so what was the landfill like back then? He said, well, we'd take a backhoe and we'd dig a trench. And then the people would back up to the trench and they dump the trash, and then we'd take a bulldozer and push the dirt back on it and then drive over it and pack it down.
I remember that.
And that was the landfill. But that was then. This is now.
They filled the land.
Yeah. That and there was no liner. There was none of that scientific stuff. But that was then. The population wasn't 107,000, 105,000. What we are now. Different time.
Sure.
Different
way.
I had a great time talking with him. He's a great man.
It's unique you said that, because I actually brought it up to the executive. I said, tell you what, if you want to find out where we went wrong, talk to the man that's been there for 50 years.
Yeah.
District 2, place that I love, and right now you are the councilman from. How's the relationship with you and the task force and Joe Lappin and the guys down there, and young ladies down there?
Yep, I talked to Joe. I talked to Dave King. I think the big push down there is this proposed state park. So a lot of questions.
Yes.
Not a lot of answers yet, but I understand they're coming. So, Joe's a good man. Dave, they're doing a good job leading that effort down there.
Absolutely. Yep. Actually, you also used to speak to. Rest in peace, Kim Box.
Yes.
You did a lot of work with her and Jody Erb.
Spoke often,
Yeah, she was a very big part and still is up down there. And she definitely would not go unremembered. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think the Watipkin pier down there, that beautiful dock that they've put up down there.
Beautiful.
They've done a great job down there. That was actually, we did a litter clean with Rachel Anderson. We did a litter cleanup down there. That was I had a good time that day.
Wow. Well, I mean, we're about to be through here, but I know the question that everybody's wanting to know. And I know at one point someone told me that you said you are not actually the comment you made is, and I think I remember you saying is, I did not sign up for all this, which it was a lot of stuff that's going on.
You were going to ask me what's for dinner.
Well, what is for dinner? I'm hungry. But no, I remember one day there was a lot of stuff going on in the council, and you said I didn't sign up for this. When I decided to run, I did not sign up for all the bickering. So I want to ask you now, as everybody's getting ready to run, as we know that you're going to be District 7, who we now are hearing, I don't see it on paper yet, Megan Alton is running in. Will you be running?
I don't know. I've got a lot of options available right now, retirement being one of them. So
I need a more definite.
now, I'll let you know after I let my wife know.
Ooh.
I gotta let her know first.
That was a good comeback. That was a good comeback. Well, let me ask you this: do you feel like you're not done yet? As far as there's still work that you want to have your hands on?
I'd like to do more. There's more to be done.
I think I just made your mind up for you.
Yeah. But retirement's looking good. I've got a bucket list, and you can't do the bucket list items when you own a business. So.
Well, it's kind of unique that you said you got this list. And when I was talking to the president of the council, John Cannon, he said, well, I'm looking forward to retirement. I've got a bucket list. Yeah. Are y'all in the same bucket? And it's just bucketed on the back of a boat.
I think they're two different buckets. Two different buckets.
Wow.
But,
wow.
David, I don't know. I will, I suspect I'll make my mind up in the next couple months.
I mean, is there something pulling you towards doing so? Because again, we already know that there's been a lot of just tangling up with everything going on, but is there something that's got you saying?
I'm being pulled in a lot of different directions right now.
Okay.
So, with retirement being one of them.
This man, he's firm in what he says, y'all.
I've been working since I was 10 years old.
And what, you're 40 now?
I'm 66.
66.
So I've been working for over half a century.
Okay.
That's a pretty long time.
Okay. So does that mean that Operation We Care, are you going to be doing that still?
That'll keep going no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I got two last questions before we close out. And the first one was
the last question.
Well, I'm a reporter.
Oh, okay.
Coming up with more.
All right.
Here's the one. If you could think of one trait about the executive that you like, what would it be?
She's a fighter.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Yeah. Now the other one is, where's a good place to get dinner in Salisbury?
Oh my goodness. There are shop local, baby. Shop local.
Okay. I mean, any place in particular?
I go to all local businesses. I'm not going to name one over the other because somebody will get mad at me.
That was good.
But I do all local restaurants. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we work with a lot of local restaurants. With Operation We Care, we will open a tab at a restaurant and allow the police departments, law enforcement to go in and eat on their time.
Pecan Square Deli.
Yep, Pecan Square Deli. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you got that plug in there.
There you go, Steve.
But now we work with local restaurants on projects, catering. We work with an organization out of Pennsylvania doing a 3-day canine event every April in Frontier Town. Canine teams come from all over the country, and we use a local restaurant to cater that event. And
no franchises. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, nothing against the franchises because, if you remember, local people work at the franchises, so, they have their place in the world too. But as a small business owner, hey, my heart's with the mom and pop shops.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, Councilman Merritt, thank you again for coming on Bridging the Gap. I'm looking forward to having you back and you telling me definitely whether you're running or not.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been Bridging the Gap. Have a great one.